You're listening to HowStreet.com radio, available online at TalkDigitalNetwork.com. Welcome to HowStreet.com radio, the online source for market opinions. Here is Jim Goddard.
My guest is Tim Cyclesman Wood, editor of Cycles News and Views on Cyclesman.com. Welcome to the show, Tim.
Jim, thanks once again for having me.
I know for months we've talked about have DNA markers set up to tell us something important. Well, what have those markers told us so far?
Well, we've had some of them in place. They've told us that caution was advised, I guess is the way to say it, and that has proven to be pretty much correct. Looking at a chart, we're back to the levels of mid-January. We've gained virtually no ground this year at this point. The DNA markers are, the ones that were in place are still in place. I'm still looking for one or two more things to kind of cement the deal. Cyclically, we had, I think, an intermediate degree low in early July, a short and intermediate degree low in early July. The industrials have broken below that low. The transports have not, so we have a little bit of a positive non-confirmation there in conjunction with the intermediate degree low. But that's all rolling over now, and once the transports are back in gear with the industrials and they catch up, then I think it's pretty much on.
Do we have any time frame on that, or are time frames something that are silly to talk about because this has been such an unusual cycle anyway?
Well, yeah, it has definitely been unusual, but I don't know how long it'll take for the transports to catch up. I mean, that's kind of a crystal ball thing, but I think they will. I think they once they reconfirm their previous low, then it'll be pretty much in place. I think we'll have at least in my way of looking at the averages, we'll have. I believe. I want to put my mind around this just a little bit more, but and study it. But I believe that would probably give us a Dow theory primary bearish trend change at that point. I think this is very, very serious, and I stick with the statistics on the downside.
Well, so many people have told me they're expecting what they call, quote, an active September. No lie there, right?
We're setting up for it. There's no doubt about that. We're definitely setting up for an active September. I like that.
What's happening with crude prices?
I was out of pocket yesterday, but crude prices, I don't know what happened yesterday. I was out traveling on the road, but overall commodity prices are, moving much, much lower. I believe that, sure, all right, I just pulled up a chart of crude. It was down slightly yesterday. Things ebb and flow. We may be getting toward a short-term low, but, the intermediate degree, I think the sell signal came on like the week of maybe May 29th, and that has been in place on crude ever since. It's still in place. I think ultimately crude oil goes much, much lower. Short term, sure, it's oversold. It's been down, all month, of July. And I saw gasoline in, yesterday for $2.11 a gallon. So, we're at a point where it could bounce, but overall, I think we go lower.
And of course, in the Vancouver area, we're paying $5 or $6 a gallon. We've had no relief at the pump because of low crude prices. A huge disconnect here. And of course, I'm told the biggest reason is the lack of competition in Canada. In the U.S., you still have discount gasoline sellers, whereas in Vancouver, the Chevron refinery decided to sell discount sellers a higher wholesale price, so that put them all out of business.
That's unfortunate for you guys. That's very unfortunate.
We'll have more with Tim Wood right after this.
More and more people are looking to the internet for intelligent, riveting, and thought-provoking interviews. To advertise on the Goddard Report and TalkDigitalNetwork.com, call 604-699-8600, 604-699-8600.
Welcome back. We're speaking with Tim Cyclesman Wood. I talked to one gold analyst who told me he wouldn't be surprised if gold lost another $100, $200 before bottoming. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that, but not now. I think gold is at a short and intermediate term degree low. We're fishing for that low, if you will, now. I think possibly one more push down, and then I think we're going to see a bounce. But then ultimately, yes, I think once the intermediate degree bounces out of the way, then gold goes lower. Absolutely, because we still have the 9-year cycle top in place, and we're still moving down into the higher degree 9-year cycle low.
So precious metals still, everybody is saying things aren't behaving the way they used to, but you've explained the manipulation in the markets makes it a whole lot harder to call the ball.
Well, yes, it does, but the thing that I'm seeing in commodities is I think that they are behaving normally. We're seeing the deflationary forces this time. The inflationary pressures from the manipulation is only showing up in equities. All of the asset classes is pretty much, already turned down and, doing what they should do, in my opinion, based on the cycles. I said coming out of the 09 low, everything would be a counter-trend rally. Well, that pretty much proved to be the case with the exception of equities, and then gold made the high in 2011, and has rolled over hard since. But, pretty much across the board, all the commodities are collapsing, and I think equities are following. I think they're setting up to follow.
Tim, thank you very much for chatting with us today.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
My guest has been Tim Cyclesman Wood, his website, cyclesman.com. You're listening to HowStreet.com Radio. Our YouTube channel is Talk Digital Network. Find us on Twitter at Talk Digital Net. Comments about the show can be sent to info@HowStreet.com. I'm Jim Goddard.
Comments made on HowStreet.com Radio are an expression of opinion only and should not be construed in any matter whatsoever as recommendations to buy or sell any financial instrument at any time. Available online at TalkDigitalNetwork.com. HowStreet.com Radio is a production of HowStreet Media Incorporated.